Today we're going to talk about the elections that will happen next week on Tuesday, June the 2nd. As you can see here, California, Iowa, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, and South Dakota. That will be the states will have elections on Tuesday for primaries. This is a very important week, especially because California is one of the most competitive governor primaries we'll have this year. I'm not talking about the general, but I'm talking really about the primaries. You can see here the gubernatorial election in California. We already have a video in the channel about this race specifically, but as you can see here, a lot of candidates, as you know, a jungle primary of the candidates in the same ballot, doesn't matter the party. And as you can see here, the polls right now, the aggregate polls mention that right now, Steve Hilton and Javier Becerra are the candidates are gonna go to a general elections, even though he has here Tom Steyer, the Democrat as well, in a very good position as which as would say depends on the turnout we'll have on Tuesday. You can see here in terms of the turnout, already 3.2 million votes in California, 14% of turnout in California in terms of the mail-in votes that were mailed. As you can see here, we're expecting in the ballpark of 8 million votes in this primary. We're still waiting for more million votes to come, and also election day vote. Republicans will actually have a lead in that day specifically. As you can see here right now, the margin is already 400,000 to Democrats and the Republicans respectively. You go here to United States Senate election in Iowa. This is a state that has been overwhelmingly red in the last few years. I mean, you know, voted for Trump in 2020, 2024, and in 2016, but he voted for Barack Obama in 2008 and in 2012. As you can see here, we do have some candidates, Ashley Hinson and Johnny Ernst. Johnny Ernst that withdrawn from the race, as you can see here, because she was the incumbent and now she is gone. Arguably, the Republicans are actually quite happy about that because, you don't know, she was not a very fantastic incumbent in terms of motivating, in terms of enthusiasm, of having a lot of the voters enthusiastic about the race, and she was not in a great position in 2020 when she won the election very by a very small margin. As you can see here now, she's gone, and we're going to see Ashley Hinson actually winning this. At least that's our expectation. But in the Democratic side, we do have a more competitive field between Josh Turek and also Zach Walz, which will depend on the undecided voters, depends on who will them vote for. Which is right now, I mean, Iowa can be certainly competitive when it comes to the general election in the Senate. In the governor's side, it's the same thing. We're still waiting for the Republican nominee. President Trump endorsed Jacqueline past few days, if I'm not mistaken. As you can see here, Zach Land, Randy Feenstra, and also Eddie Andrews do have a very competitive primary here, and 11 undecided voters. In the Democratic side, it is of course, an uncontested race. You go here to in the general election, just saying tilt democratically and Republican. I would say that right now, Iowa is still a lean Republican state when it comes to the governor election. We do have also United States primary election for Montana Senate, another one that could be. I mean, it won't be competitive. I mean, Montana is certainly a red state right now. And see in terms of fundraising, 8 million against not even a million in the Democratic side, not even 500,000. And this will not be even competitive, I would argue, about that. In terms of the United States election in New Jersey for the Senate, same thing as well. Cory Booker in a very great position to win this, even though he only voted for Kamala in 2024 by some 6 points, if I'm not mistaken. But this is another year, certainly a more democratic one, and this will vote for Cory Booker by a substantial margin. When it comes to the Republican primary, maybe I can check it right here, but we don't actually have anything, as you can see here. And yeah, I mean, you can see here, Robert Lebovitz is actually winning in terms of fundraising, but it's only $100,000 against, not even significant. And when it comes to the United States Senate election in South Dakota, this is expected to go towards the Republicans by a very big margin. I would argue 30 points or so. And we actually have a runoff if no candidate receives at least 35% of the vote. But as you can see here, Mike Rounds is expected to win the 66-18. So that option is not even in play. In the Democratic side, we don't actually have anything because it's a presumptive nominee. It is uncontested. We also have governor elections in South Dakota, another primary. And we should expect the incumbent governor to actually have a very competitive election because the incumbent governor is not up for election. That's why we're going to have a very competitive primary. And this is going to be fun. And in this rule of the less than 35% you have a runoff, it might apply to this specific race, the governor primary. The Democratic side, not actually a very competitive race because it's also a presumptive nominee. We also have an election in New Mexico, the 2026 Senate election there. Only Democratic here, so we don't actually have Republican primaries, or actually we don't. Yeah, I can see here, Christopher Havel, the only Republican to fill for the race, was disqualified for failing to meet the requirements to appear on the ballot. That's why now we don't have, Actually, we do, because here you can see the Republican Party had an opportunity to field a prospective candidate until March 17th. To collect the signatures needed to qualify for the nomination as the right team, which was successfully done by former oil and gas operator Larry Marker. And as you can see here, what is interesting that he needs to receive at least 2,000 votes in the primary election to actually go to the general. So this will be fun in the sense that we don't know if we're actually going to have a Republican candidate in November, because right now the Republicans failed to have a candidate in the primary so far. Of course, we do have that exception from the right-team voters, but we'll see if that actually can be a possibility, because right now only Democratic. Otherwise, if he reaches 2,000 votes, we actually can get that as well for the general. So guys, this was the election. We're gonna have a very packed June, also a very packed August, and September will some states as well. New Hampshire is certainly important, but then July is only South Dakota, not really important, I would argue. And as you can see here, and also only the runoff, so you might only see that governor primary. As you can see, we're gonna have a lot of primaries, a lot of interesting primaries ahead. That's why you must subscribe to the channel. You must leave your like down below as well. And I'll be back on Tuesday with a very fantastic election night coverage starting, I don't know, but maybe at 8 p.m. Eastern time with the first polling and closing in New Jersey. Thank you guys so much.